welcome everybody to the Slab Lounge, hosted by the three Kwames, Doug Medhen, Kevin Bradley, and Robert Haywood. The Slab Lounge is brought to you by uh, uh, Harb. I have no. Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna. Let's just do the thing here. Like, I'm not even gonna bother sharing my screen and like showing up the B footage. Um, um, I just wanted to get what Pal World. Will people calm down about motherfucking Pal World? Jesus Christ! I know, and I'm cursing in the first minute. I don't care. Like, it's gotten so fucking ridiculous. Like people. If Nintendo wanted to do something, don't you think they would have done it by now? Yes, the Pokemon Company is investigating for infringement, but like, if they really want, they could have just hit him with a fucking slap suit or some shit like that. Oh my god! Why?
It would have been resolved. Like, it would be different if it was the other way around. If Nintendo did some shit and was taking from Pal World, and they were like, hey, they're taking from us, I could see it being like, oh, okay, this is big drug out, blah, blah, blah. But the other way around, you really think a giant corporation would not crush a smaller company the moment they infringe on their trademark?
Yes. I mean, either of you two remember that, like, what was it, Pokemon Uranium? That fan-made Pokemon game?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Very vaguely.
Yeah, it was only up for like 6 hours before the Nintendo gods were like, none of that. And it had like, what was it, over 150 original Pokemon from the ground up, and it was downloaded like a billion times or some shit. But like, because it runs on a GBA emulator, so it's just. So if Nintendo gave a damn about that, then if they gave a shit about Power World, they would have done something about it by now. It's so ridiculous.
It would have been resolved and handled.
Right? I don't know. The Power World, the thing is, like, when you look at the creatures, it's like so blatant. The takes on it, right? Like, it's so
But the problem
blatant.
big is, even if they wanted to be mad about it, let's hypothetically say, okay, they took from them. All right. Here's the thing. Even if you want to argue for some of those, most of the models are based on creatures that already exist. The constantly thrown up land ball is a lamb type that is also a lamb type Pokemon. What other lamb design for a lamb is going to be very drastically different? Like, I can get, look, when you look over there at Anubis and you look at Lucario, you're right. Treading a little close. I get you're fashioning it around Anubis, and both creatures are based around Anubis, but you just felt like naming one Anubis.
But my thing is, like, if they're gonna do the new thing, like you could give him a cane or rod. You're having him punch with his hands, just like the other guy. Like,
yeah,
I'm never gonna do that.
There's some areas where it's like, yeah, you're look, bro, look, you were leaning in the window, you were looking. But there's other ones where it's like, no, that's dumb. Like, that's a cat. Yeah.
Well, they got basically a giant fat Pikachu kind of guy.
Yeah. Well, even then, there's because I've actually played it, and there's some that you would blatantly look at and be like, oh, this is similar to this one, but it's not really that one. But I can see what you're doing.
But they'll still make it the same like attributes. It's like, damn, at least give us the benefit of like switching it up a little bit.
But to be fair, when the fuck did Squirtle build me a fire? When did Squirtle make my fucking arrows? Pikachu ain't out there forging gold for me. Well, I mean, no one's forging gold for me at the moment, but
well, it kind of seems like they're just taking like the Pokemon's price and putting the Monster Rancher kind of shit in there. You know, that slave labor.
They're doing the thing that Pokemon should have been doing this whole time and just hadn't, until somebody now was like, you know, you could do this. because it looks like this. And then they had to be like, well, we're going to have to up our game next time.
Well, it's weird because like they kind of got close with The Legend of Arceus, and it was like, that's a good game. Why don't you do more of it? And they're like, nah, I know what we're going to do. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pearl chibi versions. I'm like, okay.
They are fearful of doing anything new because if that new doesn't hold as well, then what are you going to do?
Well, the thing is, I get it, but since they already did Legend of Arceus, they already got a precedent out there. And like they did the Sinnoh shit, you can literally just do that for every other fucking region.
Well,
And
guys,
most people probably won't complain.
That would work if the people at the head of the company were developers. They're not.
Yeah, no,
They are money
people.
marketed.
Ask yourselves this: why, in God's name, would Pokemon need to innovate? They already have the fan base. They can release a Pokemon whoopee cushion. That thing would still make fucking bank.
Dude, that's true. Like I was like on a date the other day, and someone was like, "You used to play Pokemon Mobile?" I was like, "Is that Pokemon Go?" Like I played it like 4 or 5 years ago until I found out it was to try to trick us to do exercise and shit and be social. Like, nah.
Get you roped in.
I mean, no. Like Robert makes a good point. Look at Pokemon Go, for instance. When that thing first dropped, the servers crashed because of such high user demand.
Yeah,
and like
I was out there. I was hunting Pokemon.
Right, and then they stepped up the game. It's like 3 different teams, cool ass colors. Pick your tribe. Ooh, tribalism. Go around 2016. I like that. Let's do that. You know.
It's fine. It's fine.
how much money?
No, well, it was fine. I'm just saying, like they already have that, and so like yeah, they can just keep drawing. Like honestly, I'll keep buying the new Pokemon games they have out. That comes out, even though it's shit. I mean, Paldea was okay. I don't know. I think at this point they have too many Pokemon, and then now they're trying to do like variants of the Pokemon, and I'm just like,
basically that's what it. Instead of trying to it's the one thing that Pokemon doesn't do that Digimon does do. Is rather than try to be like, hey, we have these course ones. Let's add like 5 or 10 more ones, and then let's expand the power set and transformations of the ones we have. And instead, Pokemon will be like, send out the next 30.
Pretty much, yeah.
right?
And you're just like, okay.
And it's like it's a huge bunch of fish Pokemon. No one fucking likes they need right now. You have enough Pokemon. Just take your top 10 favorite Pokemon, put in there for all the variants. Look at all the boards of. This is the squad I use to battle and put all of them in there. So it's like only 100 of the top Pokemons everyone you fucking use. Dragonite, Charmander, Venusaur, you know. Like, and then you can put the variants on there, the best variants of each one. Like a lot of people like the Charizard turning into in Pokemon X and Y when you can turn into a dragon or Pikachu flying. I mean, you just take the best ones out there, get rid of the shitty shit like Z-Moves was fucking dumb. There's a lot of shit you can fucking do on this stuff on here. They need to bring back the different types of balls you can collect in gold and silver, make it out of apricots, you know?
It's just balls.
What? What, Doug?
It just hit him.
They should bring back Missing Go, have him as a hidden boss someplace. You know, that'd be great. And then, why don't they just make it all one giant world? Just make it Pokemon World Tour. And then have Pitbull as the professor. Call him Professor Worldwide.
It's too easy.
Dollar.
You gotta have Power World. You
let
developers figure out how to do the thing that a giant company should have been doing.
Well, if they're gonna do this, honestly, why don't we all spend money on a really good Digimon game, like a really good one? Like I played the one they recently had, was the survival strategy one.
I've still been on the fence on getting that or not because I've seen the clips, but then I was like, I don't.
It's mad. It's mad because like
interesting from a
you gotta
visual novel.
play Druid a couple times. Apparently, the first time's designed for you to fail. Yeah, there's no way for you
from a
not to
visual
fail.
novel type game perspective, I was excited for it. But when it's a moment of like, I wanted to play Digimon, it sits over there, and I'm just kind of like, you aren't it. And I went back and started playing like Digimon World, which, Jesus, I forgot how that game was designed. The grind is real. You leave the hut, you go to like the little first area you go out to, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. I'm all right. Step into any other zone. You will get knocked the fuck back to your village. Fucks.
But see, that's why I'd rather have a game like that, or do that Digimon. Or, you know what? Why don't they do a Digimon Dynasty Warriors type thing, like how they did with Gundam Seed stuff on there? You pick your guy, you're just out here with a Digimon.
There's a horrible attempt version. It was rather horrible. The big thing is, Digimon has tried being experimental over the years. Mm-hmm. No one has ever given it a proper budget to do anything with. So it always starts like, here's a great concept. The execution's a little wonky. And so if you really like the game, you have to like it because you like the concept, but not necessarily how the game functions, because you're going to bitch more about it. With the exception of like Sleuth Story. Sleuth Story works good as like a storytelling, but still getting your Digimon on type thing. But you're being pushed by the story as opposed to wandering around. Like I
feel like if they want to get a budget or whatever, what if Digimon teamed up with Monster Rancher? I mean, almost similar. I mean, they had the season where the Digimon.
But Monster Rancher is also one of those that sits in the corner and doesn't get as much attention.
No,
that's why they should team up. They should team up.
No, it's because of Monster Rancher was Hudson Soft. Hudson Soft got bought by Konami, and Konami is basically just sitting on all their IPs. They haven't done shit with Monster Rancher, Bonk, Bomberman. Well, that shitty 30th anniversary for Bomberman. Nothing, or Bloody Roar. I mean, they're just keeping, they're just sitting on those IPs for no fucking reason.
That's just what happens when you're so eager to buy up something because you think it's the most expensive and going to get you money, but you didn't actually make a plan for it. That's basically Elon and Twitter. Everybody's on Twitter. Everybody loves Twitter. Twitter will be great for me. And then you get and you're like, how the fuck does this thing even work? Like,
because Konami just wanted to get rid of its main competition, and so when they bought Hudson Soft, they disbanded the entire team. That's what it's kind of like when Disney bought LucasArts, because when Disney bought Lucas, they bought they disbanded the game development wing and only focus on Star Wars movies. That's the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. Rest in power, Hudson Soft. And on top of that, rest in power, fucking Carl Weathers. Yeah. Last night, I karaoke'd Eye of the Tiger in his honor. I kind of fucked with Eye of the Tiger a little bit. Instead of like, it's the eye of the tiger who got kicked in the nuts, rising up to the challenge of our rivals, as the last known survivor had got kicked in the nuts over cornflakes, Rice Krispies, and all of the corn pops. After I sang that rendition, like, no, people kept buying me drinks. Like, after that was said.
You should have been like, as the last known survivor, because that's the guy kicked the nuts. Like, as the last known survivor, as he get kicked in the nuts, there will be no offspring. Extinction. And you be like, extinction.
Watch Rocky 3 and Predator, because Rocky 3 is honestly like my favorite one, because without Apollo Creed.
With Clubber laying in there, pain. I'm gonna bring him pain. Wake up, pain.
Bill Burr said it best. Mr. T would have whooped Rocky's ass. He only lost because the movie called for him to lose.
Oh no, yeah. Mr. T, like, if you have to make like a top 5 best villains like that make perfect sense role, Mr. T, Clubber Lang, top there, you know. Almost like Joe Nuff.
Nobody's better than Mr. T. Nobody on this on God's green earth will ever be as bad as Mr. T. Mr. T.
Dude, I kind of wish what Mr. T, if Clubber Lang had a son, they could have had him like when they've been doing these Creed stuff, they gave Drago's son another thing. I would have wanted to see Lang Jr., Clubber Lang Jr.
If Clubber Lang had a kid, he would destroy the Creed universe.
Dude, you know what they could have done if they would have did this back in the day when Rampage Jackson was in the UFC fighting Iceman. They could have made him the son. Would have worked.
Like last night, we were talking about nothing but Carl Weathers movies while everyone was buying me drinks. I got so.
Dude, did you give him the nod? Did you give him the nod in Arrested Development? He was great in that.
Oh yeah, man, he was in a lot. Yeah, he was in Arrested Development. He was in fucking Adam Sandler movies. Ugh. And well, yeah.
Was
he
Oh
was
no, I was about to get him confused with Morgan Freeman. Wasn't he in, I was gonna say the God in Almighty, but no, that was Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. He was in The Mandalorian though. I don't know who.
Yeah.
I don't know as who though because I'm not a Star Wars fan. So
It's in the second season. I didn't see
I
it.
don't know who the character was because I hadn't actually fully watched it. Not against watching it, just haven't been given Disney money. So
Wait, I think he was in the first one because like he was part of the association in the town and betrayed or gave up.
the way they dressed him, I almost thought he was just old Lando. But
Yeah.
from the image, you're just like, is that supposed to be older Lando? How?
No, there was like, could they not afford Billy D. Williams? Like, well, they could afford Carl Weathers.
Oh, Carl Weathers, what a legend.
Okay, like, well, are we talking about, like, we're losing all these black people? Andrew Bauer, Carl Weathers. I swear to God, we need to put LeVar Burton in, like, some bubble wraps or some shit.
Right? Oh my God, right?
Like, let's go out there and protect LeVar Burton. Like, I think we should start a petition. You listeners out there, if you see LeVar Burton, you protect his ass.
I mean, but because realistically, we're getting older. So as we are, everything that we grew up with is eventually got to go somewhere.
Agreed.
Yeah, but it's so annoying. It's like if you let this die overnight, but I guess with celebrities, you're not really privy to all the other shit that's really going down with them or whatever.
Story of them dying overnight, as opposed to later finding out they blew up in a blaze of glory in a plane or something. Like, you find that out and you're like, oh, holy shit. But, if you're like, oh, well, they passed away last night sleeping, you're kind of like, okay, well, all right.
Well, okay, but if that happens, usually they'll find out more. And it's like, oh, then it might have been an overdose or whatever. If he died in a car crash, that's it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like, oh, later reports turns out he was not at really home. He overdosed at a hotel with a hooker or some shit,
Yeah, but we know Carl wasn't doing all that stuff. He was, look, realistically, he was not hanging out with all them white folks.
No.
He ain't gonna have all that coke. Ain't gonna be no meth. Ain't no tons of pills in there. That was a peaceful, I'm going to bed because I'm done with the work I felt like doing.
Right? That's like how Danny Glover was. That's how Danny Glover was operating.
Y'all gonna fuck my vibe up. I'm leaving.
Carl Weathers.
Rest in power, Carl Weathers. And rest in power, Uzumaki. I heard that anime has been put on indefinite hold, and I'm just like...
Oh. Well, that sucks.
Fuck. Yeah.
I've been sitting here waiting in anticipation. I thought it was weird that it's been so quiet this whole time because it was the talk of everything for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it be on a definite hold? Are they changing studios or?
No, it's been in development hell for like forever, dude. Like,
to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised because to make it, changing it from book to visual medium and still needing to carry the same dread and uncomfortableness that the book gives you is tricky visually. And on top of that, the budget that's probably needed to even achieve that.
So if they do come out with it, aren't you afraid, like, after this long, if they do come out with it, it's going to CGI the shit out of it? It's going to be horrible.
Well, if they're going to take too long, I would hope because they're not CGIing the shit out of it. Because if they were, then it would have popped right out. We would have got it real quick if they were going to cheat it. So I don't care if they take 5 more years. If it comes out, they took the time and it looks good, it was worth the 5 years.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be like, we need this thing out here, and all of a sudden I'm looking at Uzumaki that just looks like the regular Naruto in a noodle, like in a ramen bowl, no, I'm leaving. I'm done.
Like, and it's not like their CG. The trailers that came out, they were actually doing like black and white, like fully just anime.
Yeah. My fear is when they try to bring Berserk back again, because it's going to. There's no way you're going to tell me that they were like, oh yeah, those previous attempts were bad, let's not do it again. No, someone's going to finish it. Mm-hmm. The question is, which studio is going to be brave enough to be under scrutiny? Because
that's
no matter what you put out, everyone's eyes are going to be staring dead at you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, if it's going better, honestly, you have a better chance probably of a live action Berserk before that.
Wholeheartedly, if they use decent actors and not just people they gathered, yes. I'm not even saying A-list actors. I'm saying decent actors.
Or no, like if you get like those actors like was like in the Viking show that was on the History Channel or shit like that. Like
some like that, but I mean like pick someone who can give you the same feeling Guts does. Even if they don't look 100% like Guts, you should at least feel like, yeah, that's Guts though. That's a thing Guts would do.
Mm-hmm.
Griffith will be easy to cast because Pretty Boy.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he needs to carry the acting, but for a big point in the story, Griffith isn't even on screen. So it's more Guts, and depending on where you are in the story, who's with him. I pity the person that's going to be Puck. He's going to be hated regardless of what he does. I'm sorry. The story just structurally makes Puck noise.
Yeah. I just want to know what's going to for me, it would have to be like someone that actually respects the source, like Henry Cavill, for instance, right? I'm not saying him playing Guts, because Henry Cavill is a legit Warhammer fan and a legit Witcher
fan. Even if
fan.
he didn't play it, if he was the backing behind it, I would feel comfortable. Because you at least know he's going through the material, he's going over things, he's trying to match it up because he wants it to be the way that it's supposed to be, the way he envisioned it to be, as opposed to someone who's just like, people are into this now. We should push this out. Because like I said, I am still in very mixed ground with Madam Web's ass. Because conceptually, I love Madam Web as a character, but that movie does not seem like it's anything I want. So it's so hard for me to toss that together, because it's like, you're probably going to say something that canonly makes sense. But everything else is just going to be bullshit y'all are making up and somehow just trying to get the other Spider-Women in the story that you've been avoiding the whole time.
I mean, it's just weird when you're looking at the numbers. Currently, right now, the only Marvel thing that's actually making any form of decent bank is What If.
Yeah. Because it doesn't have to have anything really tied to it in that situation.
It's just like this is like legit weird for me, because phase 1, like the Marvel movies that are coming out now, like a lot of people are just panning it hard, and I'm just like, at first I was like, you know what, okay, Ant-Man's a shit character, can't really expect him to carry the whole phase 4 nonsense. But more and more movies that are coming out, right, that are just like, it's just shit. And even the one that actually had like Sam Jackson returning as Nick Fury or whatever, like what was it was supposed to be panned as like this spy thriller type deal, was just such a huge disappointment. I mean, Loki season 2 was good, but then again, it's Loki. You don't. Really...
But see, that's the difference in that too, is because miniseries they can get away with stuff. You can leave a plot line unresolved in a miniseries even if you wanted to, because people will still be enthralled to come back. So whether you carry what that plot line is in the next movie or not, people will still love it. Loki and even Scarlet Witch played on that a lot. The Falcon tried to, but I think Falcon just had a bad time of when it came out. It's not technically that the show itself was just terrible, but Falcon and Winter Soldier came out at the worst time it could for itself. There was already a lot of stuff going on in the world, and then the show slightly leaned into those things, and then you already have a show built with an interracial cast while people are already complaining about diversity. Its timing of landing was just very
Yeah.
I mean, I just think, when they make these timelines as well, it's like years out. And I think on the bingo card, they're like, you know what's going to be a huge issue? This diversity and all this other shit. Like,
and they started, and that's why everybody started being like, they're trying to be too woke, and it's not even the wokeness. It's the fact that it became too blatant all at once. It's not like you went, okay, let's do the Miss Marvel show, and then let's do like Punisher, Blade, not talk about anything else, come back, maybe do another Captain America, and then come back with the Marvels, where it's like, okay, now we're going to explain why Miss Marvel's joining with these other characters. There would have been a space to create that intrigue. Instead, you're trying to be like, Miss Marvel, also after WandaVision, also Captain Marvel came back. Now they're all together at the same time. Look, Nick Fury's over in the corner. You know, it's you're like,
I mean, and then how they also released it, like, when they knew the Barbie movie was coming out, all this other stuff was coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like the masses were just feeling like, oh, it's a woman's year.
Craze and get what people thought all liked in one movie, that it became overblown to such a point that then they had to try and cut out too much, which made the movie terrible. Only because of the fact that things that should connect and would have more explanation, they're not there. Because
they also were saying with the strike, they're like, well, we couldn't market it and push it out like we normally do movies on the strike. And I'm like, don't blame the strike. The strike gave you good cover, man. Like,
if the movie was good after the strike, when people saw it, it would still travel by word of by mouth, because we still have social media. So if enough people went and saw it and like, this is fucking amazing, it would have blew up over social media in the middle of the night. Everybody would be there the next day.
Yeah.
If you're still failing after it's released, that's because people don't like it.
I mean, this is
all it is.
Because word of mouth is still the best way of marketing. Look at Velma's success. Like, Velma was a terrible show, but like people kept saying, "Oh my God, they did this," and then what happened? Ratings for that show skyrocketed because everybody wanted to line up to see the fucking Gimp. And
even a good example, Harley Quinn's show when it first started. When it first started, everybody was more or less murmuring and weren't sure. And as it picked up, it wasn't getting super heavy advertised originally. It wasn't until like season 3 that they started bombarding people with advertisements.
Yeah.
So people eventually were like, oh, it's good. Oh, I like this tone. And then you'd see clips. And then as people built up to it and it got more viewing, then they started promoting it like it was getting the attention. But till they see it, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't. Exactly. If they don't see it picking up, then your show is not good. And so the first thing they do is go out there and try and say, well, the fans are having these issues. No. Here's a big thing. If they're fans and they're already against you, you need to think if you've done something wrong first, because that means they liked you originally and they've changed their mind. So clearly they didn't just do that because this was released. There's a reason. Go look at the reason.
Exactly. It's really a shame what happened with Marvel Cinema. It's like I knew comic book movies were going to be a fad. Eventually, public interest would start to wane, and it has. But like, to see the Marvel Cinematic Universe fall this hard, like. And this is coming from a person that's not necessarily a comic book fan anymore. Like, if you could tell me the next Spider-Man movie's coming out, I'd be like, I don't give a shit. I didn't even bother watching Into the Spider-Verse in theaters. I watched it on my own thing when it was released for streaming. Like, and even then, like, I only did it because I was just all like, oh, it's here. Okay, I'll watch it then. But like,
I was at a friend's house and he wanted to watch it. Like, I would have watched it anyway, but we were just chilling and we saw it was released. It was like, sure, let's watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I loved it. But yeah, I wasn't, like I said, Marvel had been bombarding me with so much stuff. I was going to do it at my own pace anyway.
That was the problem, though. It's like when they plan on this stuff, it's like, oh, yeah, we can send all these movies. Oh, yeah, we can do Disney Plus, all these mini series. All these nerds will love this shit. Binge, all this shit. It's like, no, man. We got to do too much stuff. It's like having too much homework to go watch one movie, man. Like, sometimes I just want a standalone movie that's like, yeah, cool, I just went to the movies and saw this shit. I didn't have to prepare anything or nothing.
And that's technically where, even though structurally, they've been getting better, obviously, but structurally that was where DC's movies were good, but the appeal in the movie wasn't as good. Like, you'd go watch the Marvel movies and be into everything happening, but story-wise, you'd be like, ugh. But DC movies, usually, they had the story lined out, but the execution of the story in the movie, you're like, that makes no sense. Why would you? And now DC's starting to do theirs, with the exception of the newly released Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Not getting into that plot stuff yet. That's separate. But outside of that, normally they hammer their stories out to where it's a believable story you could follow. It makes sense what's happening. And even though characters are being wildly drastic, it makes sense for them because, godly level beings just walking around normally. Marvel, which has godly beings, but you're not usually following the godly beings, deal with real world level issues that a lot of times stem from pettiness that scale up. And so plot wise, it gets very hard to work with that when the basis of evil things going on is either you didn't tell this person, or you didn't talk to them earlier, or you could have just not been a jerk 10 minutes ago before their powers activated. Like,
right?
Like a lot of...
That's like 80%.
Do you really think Cyclops would be where he was if they didn't just bully him to where his glasses came off?
Yeah.
He probably would have went through his days and just had glasses, and people would have been like, if it had been 2023, Cyclops would have went through school and they would have just been like, oh, he has a condition. Oh, okay, cool. So, like, somebody probably would have talked shit, but nobody would have been physically bullying. I'm not saying people weren't getting physically bullied, but at the same way that they draw Cyclops, he was not going to just get jumped. He wasn't just a scrawny, pathetic little boy.
Yeah. But, like, I wanted to talk about the Suicide Squad game that came out. I haven't played it yet. I have no interest in playing it whatsoever because...
Same. I've seen enough clips, bits, and my whole thing is I have enough looter shooters to go through. So I was gonna go into it for the story, and then now knowing a lot of the story, I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine without that story.
Here's how bad it is. You think Justice League Suicide? Here is the kick in the balls. I mean, this is a kick in the balls to Rocksteady. When the game came out, first of all, day one they had to shut down the servers for those who had the early access Ultra Super Deluxe Edition because there was a game breaking bug that when you start the game you instantly end it.
Yep.
But then the numbers came out. Suicide Squad game has half of the numbers Avengers was pulling in.
Yeah. Having an hour-long tutorial will do that to you. That tends to filter people out.
I was so like, what? I mean, everybody in the kitchen sink said this game was going to be bad. Okay, I figured because like it's Suicide Squad. It's not necessarily. Yeah, I'm not gonna like go anyway. But like, half the numbers of the Squeenix Avengers game, I mean, the Avengers game itself looked like shit when people saw it when stuff started coming out for it, and like eh, half of those numbers. I mean,
But you can understand why, because I'm sorry. Visually, it does pop. It's colorful. It's bright in the Destiny sense. But people were coming back to this expecting a more Arkham type feeling. And so graphically, it pales in comparison. Because all those graphics look better than it does now. So it's like, and I get it, because at the same time, the other games weren't giving you the large traverse as you please, needing to check frame rates every 10 seconds to see what the hell you're doing type thing. But also, when you were making the game, you should have accounted for that. So how did the game get to this state and you did feel like that was going to be an issue?
Oh man, that was just, I was like really shocked when I read those numbers, because like it's I mean, like, look at the cast that you have, right? You got like I mean, it was apparently Kevin Conroy's last thing, Batman, as being Batman before he passed away.
Yeah, technically that would have been one of the big driving forces for me to get it specifically.
Mm-hmm.
It's for his performances throughout it. I'd be like, yeah, okay, but still hard when I look at it. It's a hard decision to make, because now I'm currently playing Gotham Knights. Like, I'm fine with that. There's moments of me being frustrated, like very frustrated, but that has a lot more to do with what I get, because it's more like you walk up to a thing that has a prompt, and if you overstep, then the prompt's just like, nope, you're not even here, even if you're in front of it. Like, move wise, attacks, going after people, I've got that. I figured it. I've gotten the timing and the rhythm. Traversal is bleh, but you know, that's not what I signed up for the game anyway. So the main points of the game, I'm fine with. Story, you know, they were going to tell a Batman story. I wasn't going to cry. I've seen worse ones.
I mean,
there are worse stories.
Yeah, exactly.
So but with all that, it's like, okay, but the game can still be fun. And I've not really done multiplayer with anyone, so I assume it'd be more fun with that. But it can be fun. But when looking at Suicide Squad, it's like, it just looks like I'm moving around the screen a lot to shoot things until the game tells me to stop shooting things. And then I move to the next area to hopefully get a cutscene to repeat. And it's like, that's not really a drive for me to play that. That is essentially, which I already said I wasn't going to do at least soon. If I want that, I just go back to Destiny. Yeah. It still gives very heavy Destiny vibes, except I can see the full body of my character without having to wield a melee weapon.
Yeah, I try. Yeah, for the record, people, I have Destiny. Like, I have Destiny now. Like, it was free on the Epic Game Store. I was like, fine, fuck it. And yeah, I stopped playing like 2 hours because like I still to this day don't understand the appeal of looter shooters like that, like Destiny or anything.
Dude, that's the problem with Destiny was they made it so blatantly clear you didn't have friends. You were basically fucked.
It's not
in the beginning, when first Destiny came out, I will somewhat agree with that, because when first Destiny came out, it was fun for you to either be with multiplayer, but it still had enough for you to drive singularly through everything. And then when 2 originally came out, you still had that story going, so you had a drive to go through. But now it's leaned into live service looter shooter. So most of the story got completely re-edited and fast-forwarded into a fast-paced campaign. And then you're just basically, okay, so now the rest of the game is to shoot to get better stuff. They completely forgot what the appeal and why people were playing it to begin with, because they wanted the story and expansive other things on top of gameplay, not just pure gameplay, which is what most games are, at least in the live service area, are starting to do. They just go, okay, well, we want them to play for a long time, so just give them repetitive gameplay that they won't get tired of, instead of going, how about we give them actual campaigns with real stories so that they want to go play it? How about we throw in new things that aren't normally in there when they hit these events, like games that want to have seasons? Make an actual new... I will give that to Diablo. Diablo 4 will give you a new season. New things will fucking show up. It's not the same creatures coming the fuck back, just like palette swapped. There's fucking different creatures you have to deal with. And a lot of these games don't even want to do that. They'll just be like, make that giant purple now. Yeah, that's the new corrupted giant. Now increase its health bar like 3 more times. Good.
I would say Diablo perfected that crack addiction.
That's kind of like that's what I'm trying to say. Like, when you think, because like all the enemies are bullet spongy and shit like that, and you're just like, you're not having a good time. There are games like Mad World did that back in the Wii, and that was one of the, and you go there for the boss fights, but you have to slog through that grind. But then you.
But it's fun doing it. It's fun doing it to an extent. The showiness of you getting through it is a lot of that appeal.
Yeah, I mean, for the record, I still think Mad World should be revisited. Just streamlined, not the slog. But then you have another game like 40K Space Marine, right? You're dealing with tons and tons of orcs, like coming at you left, right, and center, and you're a lone Space Marine just taking all that shit down with the weapons and stuff. When you get through that and you're actually continuing on with the campaign, my God, they do not, like, your dick can reach the goddamn moon because they don't milk that shit. But when they do throw the hordes of enemies at you, you're like, oh shit, okay, now I gotta get ready. But then they don't do it too much. They don't throw you into that grind like Destiny does. But and it all climaxes because like that final battle, not the final boss, the final area when you're with other Space Marines fighting off like legions of Chaos Space Marines, you're like, dude, this shit is awesome. And versus, Destiny or Suicide Squad, like it's not the same, even with multiplayer support, like if you're playing with buddies, because it's still the same fucking grind over and over and over again. I got so sick. I don't think I left Earth. Like, that's how bad it's been. Like, I haven't left Earth at all. Like, I'm still there. Like, I just
hanging with the Cosmodrome and Rasputin.
Yeah. I didn't even I know I helped some dude with a quest, and that was it. That was literally it. I was just like, yep, I'm bored now. Never mind. I'm done.
Last time I popped back in was somewhat during the season of the Witch, and then I kind of just got drained on the grind, and then I was just kind of like, okay. And then as I've seen updates coming through, nothing had just really appealed for me to be like, okay, I'll go back to the grind. Because I mean, like, I'm never in the Crucible. I could be, but I have no desire to be in it.
It's so. Ugh, thank God people are like waking up to the whole live service nonsense, even though Sony is still trying to push for that, even like with that. Last I heard, they were still trying to make The Last of Us live service. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's literally just trying. It's what all the companies are trying to do now to get everybody's money. They're just seeing what franchises people did love the most, and they're trying to pump it out there as now if we could just get them to be attached to it for forever, they'll give us money.
People are waking up to live service and they're staying away from it. Jesus Christ, I'm so sick of it. Like live service looter shooter nonsense. It's so
Yeah, it's been milked out pretty hard. It's sad.
Right? Oh man. And you have like actual good games like Spec Ops The Line got delisted.
What?
Yeah. It's no longer on. It's still like if you bought it and you still have it, you can still like
you can access it.
I still have it on Steam, so I can download it and install it. But like, if you want to buy a new copy, it's not gonna happen.
It's went the way of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Really, Revengeance got delisted?
Well, to my memory, it's been for a while. You could only really play it unless you either already had it or you have a paying ungodly amounts for a physical copy.
Oh Jesus!
Because I've looked through different types of libraries, I've not seen it pop up.
Oh my God! No, that sucks.
As I said, certain games there's certain ones they pick and choose and be like, oh yeah, that one's not important anymore. It's just, and then everybody has to tell everybody, hey, if you have this copy, don't sell that because there's many a game that even over time now that I wish I had kept, because if I suddenly was in the mood to play it, I only had the physical copy before, and now it's not anywhere. So it's just like, I'm not paying $300 just to get that back.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, you're just gonna be in my memory forever.
Right? I mean, like, thank God there's people that post the EXEs on like abandonware websites. Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a shame. Like, Revengeance and Spec Ops. Oh, those, like, I heard good. Like, I played Revengeance for a bit. I don't have it, but like, I had fun with it because it's Platinum Games. Platinum Games does fun content like Bayonetta or Nier, or rather Nier Automata was like just really sad. But you see my point. Like, I got body slammed by that fucking senator or whatever. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, like, it's totally was a fun game, but it's, for some reason, it didn't get the attention that I guess it was supposed to be getting. So everybody's just like, nah. And it's like, which, like, I had the physical copy, and then I never kept the physical copy because I was like, I'll just download it later, and then can't. So even in my library, like the digital library, it shows where at one point I had the game and that it has the data from the game being on there, but I can't access it because if I try to click it, there's nowhere it can find to pull the data to purchase the main copy.
Yeah, that's a shame.
That sucks.
That does.
So as I said, like, a lot of games just slip under the bar like that until you happen to decide to want to go replay it, and then you're like, wait, what? I can't get it?
Yeah, like fucking like Resistance Fall of Man. That game was great. Yet Sony is still like, oh no, we'll just do a Last of Us 2 remastered. Why? That game barely came out.
With all the attention that Street Fighter 6 has gotten, and especially with its design, what Capcom could do, but would never fucking do, and never will do, make the next Darkstalkers game like that.
Oh.
Give a fucking open world running around interacting with goddamn Darkstalkers and the human world, and let you be able to level your fucking Darkstalker of choice or customize Darkstalker, but it's never going to get there. Like, Morgan may get there, Morgan may show up, but nobody the fuck else. Maybe Felicia if someone's feeling feisty. Those are the only two that tend to creep out the most. And even if they canonically have no reason to be there, there's a fucking succubus and a Catwoman involved suddenly.
Okay. So, Capcom are being dicks right now because they are going after. They're putting DRM, like this ridiculous amount of DRMs in their newest games, like Street Fighter 6, RE4, the RE4 make, etc. And they really don't want the modding community making mods. So, in response...
Oh, yeah, I've been hearing a little bit about this.
Yeah, in response, like, a lot of people are downvoting, like, a ton of games in response. And rightfully so. I mean, like, first of all, you're never going to stop the fucking modders. They're going to find a way. They've always done that. If they manage to finally, if that one dude that claimed that $5,000 bounty to expand the Ultimate Marvel 3 character slots can do that, I mean, you're
it's gonna happen.
Yeah. You're fighting an uphill battle. You're fighting an uphill battle, people. I mean, like, modders are always gonna fucking win.
I mean, people are always gonna data mine the game regardless. So I mean, like,
so he's like, it's so why I don't know why Capcom's being like that. They have no reason to just like fucking just. Oh no, wait, I think I know why. Because apparently, like during a fighting game tournament, someone accidentally left their naked mod.
Yeah.
So, Robert, here's some quick context. During a fighting game tourney that was, like, pretty well televised, someone accidentally left their Street Fighter 6 naked mod on. So, like, there were characters like Cammy, like, just full on in their birthday suit.
it's like,
There was live streams.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why Capcom's doing this, because they're embarrassed?
I think
Yep.
so, yeah. But,
because that hurts the integrity of the company. If she had just been modded into a funny outfit or something, that'd be one thing. But naked? No.
Mhm.
We could never think of anything naked being around in our semi-family friendly thing.
yeah, right.
I mean, they could live stream this on Twitch. Wouldn't that be par for course?
Nah, Twitch is in its own weird regulation pocket spot too.
Yeah, what is up with Twitch's updated terms of service or whatever? Like now,
Well,
apparently, like you
because
can-
they screwed themselves over with the censor bar meta. They let
Yeah.
people get away with it. Then too many people were doing crazy stuff. Then people were still breaking that meta because they didn't know how to do that right. So then Twitch had to come back and be like, "Okay, you know what we said you could do? Yeah, you can't do that now." So.
Oh, good lord! Yeah, it's the
Like, I'm not even on Twitch most of the time, and I'm hearing about all the sheer chaos and saying, because it was their own fault, and I feel no bit bad for all those people in the executive rooms who sat there and were like, "Oh, that's a hot girl with breasts. We should let her use the censor bar meta." And then Boogie's ass went over there doing censor bar and it slipped and everybody got to see stuff they didn't want to see. And then all of a sudden the rules changed. I was like, you deserve every bit of that punishment.
All of a sudden, you push it up.
You thought everything was great till that one guy you didn't want to see naked didn't know how to do the censor bar. Then
Well, I
you're
mean,
like,
I
whoa,
still see them going
whoa,
back on
let's
there.
slow this down a bit now.
What's really funny is because all I know about like because I used to Twitch every now and again because like
But then you took some medication.
yeah, pretty much. No, exactly. That's literally it. Like I just stopped going on Twitch altogether, mainly out of because like some of the live streams that I watched were mainly yes, Team Spooky, FGC. I like fighting game tournaments, but since Team Spooky, I don't know what's going on with Team Spooky right now because like they don't post as much they don't post as much tournaments anymore. Like they have this weekly thing called NLBC because they're in New York, but like that's stopped for whatever reason, and it wasn't even because of the pandemic. This was like recent. They stopped doing that. And
Are you sure that someone did a cinema cease and desist letter or some shit like that?
no one gave.
Well,
Kind of like Nintendo did with the Smash Brothers.
In the background of esports, so heaven only knows what's actually happening.
Probably. I mean, they were because like they were. It wasn't just Fighter 5 they were streaming. They streamed Fighter Z. They streamed Virtua Fighter, Tekken. Even now, their channel. It's still active, kind of. I mean, the last fighting game thing they showed off was like a Virtua Fighter 5 expansion pack. They still talk about like Tekken, but like the big names aren't there anymore. Like IFC Yipes or Pai Li Chung. I haven't seen Pai Li Chung in forever, which is sad because those two, when IFC Yipes and Pai Li Chung, whenever they're commentating together, like it is the absolute harmony. The amount of funny shit they will say is just amazing, right? Like in Tekken, what was it? Tekken 7, right? The dude, like, he was like a commando or something like that. The amount, and like they were just popping off about how he has a scar on his like lip, and it's just like, yo, that guy needs Blistex, Netflix and chill. What the fuck? And they just go, they work off of each other so well. But like for whatever reason,
I don't know. I think like TV media, they had a moment. Remember they were like on TNT or TBS. Here's some gamers and a team that watched this competition for like hours. Now they don't do that. I mean,
and honestly, sports has went through this weird thing because it was on the rise to where like it was almost at a point to where they were going to show it with regular sports, and then all of a sudden something happened behind the scenes because I know tournaments and people's contracts all suddenly started getting brought up, and then all of it stopped. Like, it just became people who happened to be just playing games with other people.
Well, I think it was because they were
groups or anything like that. It's just, oh yeah, you remember this person who used to go to these groups? Yeah, they met up with this person to play, just cause.
Well, I think because they were really pumping up Twitch at the moment. Ninja was out there being ambassador, but I think right around that moment was the time when girls realized they could make money that's being sexy on the thing. And then those issues was popping up, and I don't think they wanted to, drive mainstream parents to see this to stop the kids from using their credit cards for it. Right? I mean, that's bad for your bottom line.
Here's the thing. Esports has been around before esports was a thing. I mean, you had like unofficial CS tournaments. EVO's been around forever, man. I mean, like, because fighting game tournaments have been like a thing. It's always been a thing. It's just that like a lot of mainstream companies, they thought, oh, we can esports racing games, or we can esports this, or we can esports that. I can understand esporting like Counter-Strike or Dota 2 or what the fuck was League of Legends. Or I can see those being, because like you actually have to work as a team. Whereas, like in fighting game tournaments, they've been around since like Mortal Kombat first showed on the fucking spectrum. Fighting game tournaments have been around. Period. Like there's always going to be a market for those types of tournaments. In fact, Robert, let me put it to you this way: there is still a tournament pool for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. There is a tournament pool for Capcom versus SNK 2. Those Soul Calibur 2. I mean, they like, if it's a fighting game like Darkstalkers, it has its own tournament pot. Like, I'm serious. There's still a thing. But like,
no, I totally believe it. Like, because those games are awesome. It's great to play it. It says, you just have to find people, and now it's easier to find people once you get like a Reddit chat, group chat.
But when they were trying to push esports for like Overwatch or esports for, I mean, like, I think Activision Blizzard actually has its own esports league, but when Microsoft bought that out, apparently that's going to get the axe. Rightfully so, because what the fuck can you really esports other than their RTSs or, I could kind of see Call of Duty, maybe, but like...
Well, Call of Duty would have been better than... Okay, so when they were doing the esports, I think it was on TBS with Overwatch.
Yeah.
This was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I never even got to Overwatch, but I'm just like, make no sense. Like, Powers doing that shit. At least if you're watching Call of Duty or Counter-Strike, guy died. You understood it. I mean, no extra powers, maybe more guns and like grenades and shit. But
yeah, no, Counter-Strike tournaments
or the fighting game. I'd rather watch that on TV than the Overwatch.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, well, again, Counter-Strike, their Counter-Strike tournaments still going to this day. Like, it's still a thing. Like, there's still CS 1. CS 1.
Back in the day, making music videos to that. Headshot, take you on. Headstrong, take on anyone.
It's just that so many companies wanted, like, their thing to be e-sported. Like, how the hell are you going to e-sport GTA? Why would you even fucking do that? And then, like, so... I think because, like,
I think it'll be interesting. Here's an interesting theory how to do it. You have the GTA Online, but you make it a show of people who log on GTA and they make it their life. Like they live their life normally on GTA, but it's a show.
Well, that's a wishy-washy road too, because you could easily do that same thing with the fucking Sims. I mean, like, and the Sims.
Well, yeah, you can, but GTA is bigger than the Sims.
True, but like you still see my point. So when all these companies want to be like, yeah, esports, there's just not enough of a fucking market for it. Fighting games, yes. Shooters like CS, yes, because Counter-Strike has permadeath. You die in that round, you're done for the round. Fucking RTSs, absolutely, because people like to see armies go into war, etc. I mean, like, because tabletop. Anyway, but like racing games, no, like they want no, and there's just not. Yeah, no, because like there just wasn't enough demand. So like all these esports, like I know ESPN2 really wanted to like just be exclusively esports or some shit like that, but that fell through hard. Because no,
well, that also fell too hard because of financials at just Disney in general.
Well, I heard a rumor that they were really that ESPN2 was begging Nintendo something awful to exclusively host Smash tournaments, and Nintendo was like, no.
No, they need to put that shit on the Ocho.
Yep.
That's where all that stuff belongs. The Ocho in the summer, we're watching air corn ball or whatever, cornhole. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cornhole, air hole, cornholing, some bowling, and we can watch some like video game. Maybe they put on Rope Roses, girls in bikinis, some para dancing.
Either way, I mean, like, esports, yes, it still isn't around. I mean, yes, they still are. It's just nowhere near as big because, like, it can't be. I mean, in all honesty. The only way you can have, like, any form of, like, even if you did organize, like, the playoffs and shit, there's so many small-time creators and podcasters, live streamers that are very well recognized, like, again, Team Spooky or Tampa Never Sleeps, where they just post that shit and comment over it, and there's no cost towards production because it's literally them talking in a fucking room and commentating over a fighting game, whereas the companies want to make this big grandioso thing when it really is just two dudes, two players just going to town on each other.
Yeah.
I mean, they should make the influencers should make a show of like, I'm going to challenge a random person on the street that's getting in the van, randomly pull up to a kid. Hey, want to challenge me? And then they just slide open their windowless van to show like the screen and the two like PlayStation thing, and then you play, and that's the whole show. You guys are lucky. I want 10% of whoever takes this idea.
I heard they were trying to do a reality TV show about actually making an esports team thing. Is that around? Is that still a thing? Or
like, wait, are they gonna like have tryouts and shit? And like, it's gonna be kind of like Hard Knocks tryouts, boot camps.
I remember something like that where they were doing it, but I think it ended up being more like a documentary type thing of a team.
Never mind.
Because I remember they followed a team, and I think they ended up losing anyway. But you followed their whole training, the course, what they were doing, contracts, blah, 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 all that.
There's like icing hand injuries, the mental, physical stress of playing games 18 hours a day.
In all honesty, like, do I think esports is, like, I'll watch a fight. Well, I mean, I watch fighting game tournaments because it's still awesome to watch. It's just,
I'm not that dedicated to the person who's playing the game.
Yes, exactly. Like, exactly. Yeah, I'm not gonna like follow the players because, like, no. I mean, I'll watch a Mortal Kombat 1 tournament because I want to watch. I just want to see the tech, or Street Fighter 6 tournaments because, I want to see again the tech or the characters, etc. And I'm still like debating whether or not.
What about a Killer Instinct tournament?
KI and me have not matured well. Like I fell hard. I'm serious. When I played KI back in the SNES days, I was like hardcore into it. But that's mainly because it was a Nintendo fighting game that was rated mature. That's literally it. After that, because like auto combos, no, thank you. I'd rather have more skill based stuff like Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which was called the most balanced Street Fighter of the bunch. Either way.
Not accurate.
What about Tekken?
Tekken I used to fuck with. I actually did make it to the Eastern Conference in Tekken, what was it, 2? But that was back when I was like hardcore competitive. But like, I never bought Tekken 7 mainly because the interest wasn't there. I don't think I'm gonna buy Tekken 8 either because like in all honesty, it's Tekken. It's fun. I mean, it was fun. I'll play it if you have it. Like, I'll play it with you if you have it. But like, I'm not gonna go out and buy it. I mean, because it's Tekken. I mean, it's fun. But like, I'm just not gonna grab it. There's more. Street Fighter 6 has more of a chance of me buying it, but that's only because I'm holding out for the last season because I don't want to keep buying DLC characters. I just want to buy the game with all the DLCs in one package. I don't want to buy any fucking season passes or any of that nonsense like they did with. Because look what happened with Fighter 5. When that game first came out, it was trash because it didn't even have like double-digit characters. Only like I think 6 or 7, right? Like something like that.
Yeah, it was sad. They were clearly being shysty, especially when, like mentioned before, people data mined the thing and saw that, like, the coding for a character is here. Mm-hmm. They just didn't make it accessible.
Yeah, I'm not doing
So,
that.
Doug,
what's up?
Do you have the top 5 fighting games?
I mean,
Like, if there's a rank them.
If I rank, I don't really, because that's not a good thing to do, man.
No, not like, don't do like individual game, like overall.
Even with that, you can't, because Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, they're both fighting games, yeah, but they're fundamentally different, like in terms of like how they play, like the timing, etc. I mean, if you want, and even then, like let's say I am doing fighting like top 5 franchises, like the netcode still has to actually factors into that. And Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball Fighter Z's netcode is ridiculously bad. So bad. Oh my god. I could tell you horror stories with because while I was watching funny game tournaments during the pandemic, so many players had to get out of the pot because their connection was just that shit. And it wasn't on them. It was on fucking Arc Systems because they cannot do netcode to save their fucking life. And then even then, where does Budokai fit in? Because Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is actually a thing now, and it's and I'm not talking about that fan game I showed you to a while back. Bandai Namco officially said, yeah, we're making one. So like fighting game franchise.
I mean, I have a list.
Good on you, but I'm not gonna do that because like no, because like seriously, think about it. Like, ask yourself this: is Virtua Fighter the same thing as Tekken?
No.
What system are you playing on?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Are they the same game?
I guess.
Bruh.
Not really.
Okay. No. We can solve that real quick. Okay. So where does Blaze Blue sit?
Oh no.
I forgot about Blaze Blue.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So my list
sit pretty weirdly to begin with.
Okay, so my list would have been number 1. I put Street Fighter 1, Mortal Kombat 2, and then I like the mechanics of Budokai of Dragon Ball Z, so I'll put that at 3. And then I'll put Tekken 4.
Okay.
And I have Rumble Roses 5, if you ever played that.
And even, okay, so, I didn't know wrestling games are fighting games now, because, like, where does WrestleMania 64 sit? Because that was the first WrestleMania that let you customize your wrestler.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah,
I gotta get back to you, Doug, on this list.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I said the list ain't that easy, because what about the party fighting game?
Yeah, exactly.
What about when you get into the Naruto fighting game?
or Power Stone, or the 2 Power Stone games. I mean, like,
or Urgits.
We might have to take it to the poll. We might have to make credit a Hall of Fame listing, tiers. Everyone loves tiers and polls.
So, like, you're going to end up having to just wait till the next one and be like, I made a list after analyzing.
Yes.
I don't mind making a list of...
and checking it twice.
Okay. I don't mind making a list of reliable fighting games, like Tekken. You can rely on Tekken because it has that reputation.
Okay. Then what about Double Dragon?
Exactly. Well,
Right.
Okay. Your only safe bet would be what your top 5 of fighting games that you feel like you enjoyed the most.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's fair to, even if you're like, oh, that game's shit. Well, I enjoyed it, and that's kind of the end of the discussion. Like,
Yeah.
get away with that, but because arguably one of my choices shouldn't even be a choice, but it is. Because one of mine in that ranking would be the Bushido Blade 2.
Oh, I forgot that.
Because when you actually figure out how the systems and stuff work, yeah, it's an intense game when you are like, oh, it's a one-hit strike. I have to actually parry that shit.
Or
I have to actually clash swords if I don't want to die.
Yeah.
And if
Okay, well then,
your arm's fucked up, so now you're wielding one arm, you hit your leg, you're dragging. Like, it was a nice mechanic. It's just most people wanted to just have the normal fighting game experience of hit the button real quick and I'll beat you. And it's like, no, it's meant for you to clash in a samurai session of you see someone's attacking, so you attack, so your swords clash, and you're still alive, and then you go for another attack.
So maybe you should make a pantheon of fighting games like X-Play used to do with the Hot Morgan Webb.
I mean,
And
As
Adam
long as
Sessler.
it doesn't bring Sessler out of his basement, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. Because in all honesty, some of the fighting games that I played, like X-Men Mutant Academy, that was actually a legit good fighting game. Not a lot of people played it, and because I think Activision put it out. Either way, it was actually pretty damn decent, and should have had a lot more attention given to it. But I don't mind if I could, I don't personally, I don't rate it as a fighting game, but there are tournament pools in the FGC that would jump down my
Fight Night 3 was good.
Okay, but Dive Kick. Yeah, Dive Kick. It's a game where you literally that's a one-hit kill game like Bushido Blade 2, kind of, except that you have to.
So you should review some fighting games and put it as Doug Gems.
In all honesty, because one of the things that I wanted to bring up, or rather do, was a Yahtzee style aesthetic, talking about abandonware titles and glitches that you can trigger. I want to do that.
You want to trigger people? Huh?
No, for instance, glitches that you can actually trigger, that you can actually activate yourself. For example, in Smash Melee, I forgot how to do it, but you can actually play as Master Hand. Yeah, you can't.
You're not out here baiting people.
I know, but it's a legit glitch. you can trigger it. You have to have. I know one of the prerequisites is that you have to have all 51 events unlocked in Smash Melee. Another glitch that you could do was in Deus Ex Human Revolution. You could because you could clip through walls, but it's heavily suggested that you clip through a wall at Picus when you're waiting for that elevator to show up, and it takes 5 minutes. Yeah, the thing is, because IDOS Montreal are fucking idiots. The elevator was always there. You could just literally clip through the wall and then skip that entire fight. It's so those idiots put the elevator there, right there to begin with, and those fucking morons. But yeah, it's that kind of shit. I mean, but yeah, I don't. Wow, I'm babbling, aren't I? Good lord. But yeah. Well,
Change your name to Brooke.
right. Good Lord. Good Lord. Lord have mercy.
You can use that, dog.
Right?
Pick up for girls. It's like, oh man, my name should be Brooke because I'm babbling. What's your name? There you go. And that was smooth as water.
Yeah, Jesus. Well, I mean, to be fair, see, we do have those animators that are working with us, and we still have like more to go through. I really gotta, I gotta close that job ad, dude. Like, for the record,
Dude, honestly, that just means you gotta go work harder on those people that want to actually pay us, man. There's maybe a lot of people.
I know.
Have high hopes. You get them on that hopium, Doug.
I'm trying to like drum up business best as I could. Tomorrow I gotta go to like this San Diego tech coffee thing at 9 in Little Italy.
Okay, why don't you open an ad to get an intern who's good at bringing in advertisement?
I might actually just advertise for a marketing intern and then go from there. But like,
here we go. Let's get some young kid who's like 16, and then give him some fireworks and some weed and shit.
Lord.
In a video game, if he's into computers, I don't know, mod a computer for him. There we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Either way, oh man.
But it has to be kind of popular or like really unpopular. That he's like secret genius, but the Homeland Security is definitely probably watching him.
Well, I mean, it's not like, for the record, especially after we broke up the channel, when I was looking through the analytics, some of the keywords actually, some of the SEO keywords that are used actually rank pretty damn high. I'm not just talking Slab Lounge. The Hatchery, Mad Hen Animations, Mad Hen House actually rank pretty damn high in the SEO keyword search. Yeah. I was actually kind of surprised when I was looking into that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm actually kind of happy with that. So, like, if we were to hire like a marketing intern, they'd have to like focus on one channel and just go from there. In all honesty, but like, that's neither here nor there because we still have to rebuild the fucking website ourselves now. But like, I'll get into that off camera because that company pissed me the fuck off, and I let them have it with both goddamn barrels.
Yeah, they really laid an egg on that one.
Mm-hmm. You could say that again. But it's.
I say it was like a yolk short.
Good Lord. It's just that, like last night, like I know I'm circling back to last night when I was karaokeing it up. We got into this weird, like, debate, or rather, just talking about, like, nothing but Carl Weathers movies, and, when someone was all like, oh, he was in 8 Crazy Nights, that movie was dope, everybody collectively was like, dude, get out.
You have been removed from the bar.
Well, 8 Crazy Nights wasn't a great movie.
It was like animated Sandler movie, right?
Yeah.
With that old man with the poop thing and really weird. Like, it's almost like the same exact plot for like Mr. Deeds. Like, almost everything is the same kind of plot.
Yeah.
And that was Sandler. Like,
good Lord, my God. I was just surprised at how much people were not happy with him. That guy, that was like 8 Crazy Nights was great. Dude, get out. That was funny shit. That was a.
Did you go to the werewolf bar again?
Yeah.
Even Wonderwall wouldn't have saved him.
Oh my God. You know what's weird? Recently I started watching more and more like videos on like cheaters getting caught in the act and how they essentially got revenged. So like how one dude just like poured milk on this girl's hair, like dumped the entire bottle of milk, sets it down in front of her, and then he and the guy that she was having an affair with basically just bro momented, and then like left together. Both of whom were giving her the middle finger as she was wiping milk off of her, and like it just goes from there. Like some dude was just trashing his own house. Like Fuck you, you stupid phone. But yeah. It gave me another notification. It's probably a useless one. Let me see. Oh, watch ABC's Stephanopoulos get abruptly shut down with JD Vance in wild moments. No, thank you. I wasn't.
JD Vance. Fuck
Wait,
that
who?
guy.
Yeah, JD.
Fuck
I know
JD
JD Vance. Who was the first person?
Stephanopoulos.
Oh,
George
the
Stephanopoulos?
Republican chair head person.
Yes.
Oh. Fuck that dude.
Yeah, no, of course, he's an asshole.
I was like, the name sounded familiar. So I was like, I thought I recently heard that name, and that's what it was. Okay.
Oh God, what this stupid phone. But yeah, like it's so yeah. I got into. I don't know why I'm watching like women getting rejected or some shit. Maybe I'm projecting something myself. And I'm like,
I don't know.
Are
Maybe
you
you're
in your
drinking.
spell arc?
Are you drinking that evangelical Kool-Aid?
right? Oh my goodness. Well, I really Doug. It's high time you started dating again. Fuck that. I'll just go get a hooker.
Well, you know, you're paying them to leave.
Mm-hmm. But I'm paying. Oh God, Riley moment. Seriously. But I'm paying. Why don't I just give that hoe some money and she can take her ass grocery shopping?
Right.
I mean,
That's what the money's for.
Look, to be real, in the sense of a date, he's not wrong. I understand if it was like you were doing that for someone casually, then you're like, no, that's dumb. But in the sense of a date, it's like, yeah, if you're the one paying, especially in the situation if they're one of them that are forcing you to pay, they are not splitting the bill. They did not come here to split bills. Mm-hmm. Then, yeah, if you go, oh, well, she a hoe, and she's like, how dare you? I don't accept money for services. And it's like, but you came on a date so that I would pay for it. Like, if I said I wasn't paying, were you going to come? No. Well, then you came for services.
Yeah.
If you are paid for.
She's the same person who's like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to Cheesecake Factory.
That girl. That girl. That broke my mind. Because I'm like, first off, how are you going to lock somebody out their own car, get on live, and start this conversation? I am 100% like a lot of other people. Girl, I would have broke my own window and pulled you out.
Right.
You is not about to lock me out my own damn car because you don't want to go in cheesecake. You could have said that on the way there. You could have said it when I parked. You let me get out my vehicle and then you lock me out my vehicle? Oh, you about to get out my vehicle one way or another. You might just get in it.
And I'm like, Cheesecake Factory's not that bad, man. Like Cheesecake Factory, Chili's, Applebee's. I mean,
I could understand. No. I could understand if he took you to Denny's.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he took you to Denny's, sit in that car.
Yeah.
Sitting. Mm-hmm. But Cheesecake Factory, if you didn't even like it, you could get the order to go.
Yes.
Go sit down, get it, look at it, and go, I'd rather us eat somewhere else. Get it, package up, go. Nobody saw you. You could say it at the counter. You could have asked him to get it to go and say, hey, let's have a romantic dinner somewhere else. There's multiple ways to handle that instead of locking the motherfucker out their own car. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, for him to be as patient as he was to get back in the car, politely talk to you about how your actions are terrible, and then say, I'm going to drive you back home. And even then, you trying to backtrack and be like, no, we can still go. No, you want to go home. It's okay. We'll take you home. That's still being nicer.
Yes.
I would have opened that door and just kicked the bitch out and drove off.
And then you would have been like, I bet you go to that Cheesecake Factory now to use the telephone.
And she'll still be on live, and I'll be like, I hope all your friends on live saw how they gonna do if they treat me like this. Yeah. I want them to know.
Dude, I'll be like, you know what? I hope one of the hot friend sees this, it's like, I'll go to Cheesecake Factory and show that DM to her. Like, see?
The hot friend was probably sitting at the house eating Doritos. It was perfectly fine.
Well, she's eating Takis for sure.
Yeah,
Gas station Takis.
and I guess it just hit me so bad because it's one thing if you want to be touchy about it and you don't want to go there. Okay, that's your own private discussion. Why the fuck is you on live? Why is you airing everybody out to your drama and you haven't secured that you in the right? I understand if you was in the right. You ain't secured that. You know, there ain't nobody. I don't care who was in your chat trying to be like, girl, you right. Don't go to Cheesecake. You don't know that bitch. And you taking their advice. You need to listen to the physical person next to you who is taking to a meal and paying for that meal. Oh, wait, scratch that. They not Nemo because you was pulling bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, and Cheesecake Factory is not that cheap, dude. Like, I mean, like, you can run up a bill there, man. That's like Red Lobster or some stuff, man. Like,
Cheesecake Factory gets most of its heavy hit just because the actual basic things that you get are still a little overpriced. You want to get a grilled cheese, yeah, they're going to charge you fuck out that grilled cheese. Mm-hmm. But if you want to go there and get like meatloaf or even like fried fish, no, they do put the effort. It's worth the pay. They do bread that shit by hand. You can taste that they breaded that shit. It ain't just frozen. But it's just that fact that, yeah, if you want to look all high class and prominent, yeah, Cheesecake Factory don't look that prominent. But it don't look poor. You ain't fucking at the 7-Eleven getting hot dogs. Right. We've been in that life.
Yep.
I mean, like, you're probably like, if depending what kind of drinks you get, if no alcohol, you're still drinking like 50, 60 for a date.
Yeah.
And then with alcohol,
you still don't want to get a drink. Just bring the water. Bring the water. I'm good. I got soda at home.
You know, the worst is like you play the first day and it's like, you know, you kind of offer to do the appetizer and it's so quick, like, yeah, appetizer, all this other stuff. They'll split it. Like, what?
But that's kind of how things have gotten nowadays. Is because splitting has not really become an option for people who feel like I'm going on a date. In a relationship, yeah. When you're already dating a person with someone, they'll be fine with, split it or whatever, because usually you can get them back. But when they're on that first date, no, they want you to do it.
Yeah.
They want you to feel special, with the exception of the person who's trying to get someone on a date, so they'll offer, which is probably what that situation was. He probably wanted to go on a date with her, offered to take her to eat. She didn't question anything, and she was like, oh, okay, great. Yeah, I'm going to give me a meal. And then proceeded to talk shit on that man. So it's like, he probably offered her. She didn't probably hit him up for that date.
Right.
He probably hit her up. And then she
definitely
did all that shit. And then ended up with fucking nothing. Nothing.
Dude, that's why people be like, go on a coffee date. But coffee dates are fucking expensive too, man.
You're better off just brewing the coffee at the house and just having them pull up and y'all talk in the yard. That's cheaper. So you can get all the spices and the syrups needed. Just be like, look, just pull up in the driveway. I'll come out, talk to you while I hand it to you.
For me, like, you know, for my first
date, gotta tip me.
If I'm gonna have fun on the first date, whatever, you know, let's go to a happy hour at a bar. It's like, hey, I'm gonna get drunk either way, so I'm having fun. You know, like, good or bad.
I technically haven't done that for years.
Right, doing that.
I used to do that more in like the earlier 20s. Would be like, yeah, let's go meet at a restaurant that sells definitely well-made drinks. Just as
well, I'll do that, and then like second day, you do like a physical activity, and then you get that bowling really cheap. You know, cut the cost from the first date.
Yeah.
Plus, bowling's fun anyway. It gives you time to chat them up, let them feel their vibe. Even if they're bad at bowling, you could usually get a vibe of a person while you're bowling.
I mean,
but I also like the bowling alley's burgers and shit. It's a grease, or I don't know. That shit be popping. The food be popping.
Yeah. On the because like Yeah, with me, like, obviously, like, you have to pay for the first date. After the, everything after that, like, you know, they can, and depending on, it also depends on where you go, like, in terms of, like, sizing them up in terms of, like, where they want to go and shit like that. Like, the worst first date, and it was the only date I've ever been on, was with this girl who wanted to, all she wanted to do was fucking, let's play Pokemon Go and just go to spots, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
You had one of those.
Oh, I mean, those are almost as bad as like, hey, our first dates, let's go hiking and some shit. It's like, I'm not gonna look sexy while I'm gasping for air.
Why would I want to go hiking with you? This is our first date. Let's just get to know each other and have like usually I take them out for lunch because that's neutral. It's not necessary. It's not romantic in any way. It's us literally sizing each other up. What the fuck am I gonna? Why would I want to take her out to dinner if I don't fucking like her? Like, no, I still have to fucking get to know the bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, Doug, let's go hiking. No, that is the worst. No.
Do you want to see
and just
my
asking for
sweatiest and my worst?
It's like sweaty, other thing. Then you find out that she's not into you, and then for some reason you get lost off the trail, and now you guys got to be together in a horrible Lifetime movie, but there's still no sexual chemistry. And it's first date.
Usually that's why when you have vacations and stuff planned, you usually don't plan them with the we're just meeting for the first time in person type thing. You don't do that.
No.
What you normally do is you pick something that you can easily escape out of. That's why movies work. Oh, okay, I just have to tolerate you for 2 hours. If you were going to have dinner, plans can come up to why you don't have dinner after the movie. Like, for either of you. If you pick something like that that's reasonable. You don't go like, hey, do you want to go on this 3-week cruise together for our first date? And you're like, what the
Right?
Why?
Well, it's also like because of the hike thing. It's like first date. It's like I can't get out of it once I'm on the trail. But halfway up, like, oh, I think I left something in my car. I'll be right back. Right?
It's part of the reason I've always had issues with like the 90-Day Fiance storyline thing.
Oh my God.
Every one of those is like, I've been talking to him for years and all this. But you're meeting them for the first time and you're planning to marry them in 90 days. There's so many things wrong with that, considering that people who know people longer than 90 days get fucking divorces.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, clearly this isn't gonna work. But, we enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit was banging when I was in the hospital. TLC, the Learning Channel. I'm learning. They're good at doing selling crack.
I keep track by watching other viewers, like other streamers who watch it and tell me the details. And some of it I'm just like, yeah, I was not going to sit through a whole season just to watch that happen.
Mm-hmm.
No, but like you're in the hospital.
Fail from the beginning.
If you're in a hospital or you're laid down, let's watch some of that shit. Just like when you binge watch it, you're just like, you're not going to take this shit. Holy crap, you're going to another country? Like, I'm always amazed how these people have passports and shit already. Like, yeah, I'm just going to take off, go to another country.
Some are more interesting than others because some you can see it. They'll be like, oh, I have this successful business. I have this going on. But when you see like the 75-year-old woman who's barely like getting through on her rent and she's like, I'm going to Europe. And you're like, girl, pay your mortgage. What are you doing?
Pay your mortgage.
Well, because every time they're selling their house, they're giving up things. Their family is looking at them like, what the fuck? And then they get over there, and then like 2 weeks later, there's a problem, and then now they need to come home, but you didn't have a fucking home because you didn't pay your mortgage. You just fucking sold your house.
Yeah, they basically burnt all the bridges. It's like, I hope this works. I have nothing else to go on. Like, they're fucking Cortez, man. What the hell?
They're fucking hoping the fucking camera crew's gonna spot them $1 or something, I guess. Because they're like, if I'm stranded, you're stranded.
I don't know what. There's one white woman goes to Africa. I'm like, bitch.
Oh, please don't. Oh, no. Not. It's not her. Never mind. Because I was thinking you meant Angela's ridiculous fucking ass, but no, not her. That bitch wouldn't have survived over in Africa. They'd killed her as soon as she got off the plane. Her mouth runs too much, and everything out her mouth is, I'm an American. It's like, they gonna kill you dead. They go to Africa and holler, I'm an American. Dead.
Depending on what part of Africa, they're gonna take you and try to get some money for a ransom.
That redneck woman of the white persuasion. Do you think Africa gives two shits about you?
Like you went to the wrong African country.
You better get down there to South Africa as fast as you can.
Right? Exactly. Well, you need to get down to Africa or you need to get up to Morocco. I don't know. One of the two.
That's just what always trips me out. That's another thing that trips me out with the dynamic of Africa. Currently, let's do this fun part. Currently, the news loves to, before we go, the news loves to address the fact that South Africa likes to bring up the genocide of white people a lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But we're still glossing over the genocide of black people, apartheid, and various other things going on. While also, other parts of Africa are calling out Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about that it's like y'all are trying to call Africa out, and Africa's over here like, by the way, this thing y'all are doing over there, what's going on there while you're trying to call us out? What's all that? It's
Africa's coming with
a very complicated thing between the two, because even when I heard that, it's like Africa's calling them out, and it's like,
there's a lot of people calling them out.
It's a very touchy. It's hard to do that.
It's a touchy subject, and everyone's calling them out, and then BB and Yahoo's over here just like, no, I'm just chilling here. No, I'm gonna
It really is bad if the people that were going on interviews that represented them were better at how they phrased things. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything is good or bad for what they're doing. I'm saying them and how they talk out in the public is terrible, because they always have to backtrack on anything they said because of something they just said, trying to prove a point.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's always better at
that's their
messaging.
biggest issue. Even if they wanted to try and be like, oh, we're the good guys or anything, everyone you send out to try and prove that cannot properly express that.
Well, because they get angry like 2 minutes in, and then it's like now they're just flabbergasted half the thing, and then it was just like, what, But
that's my point. Is like, why are you sending that person? If they can get flustered that quick, you should not be sending them. You need a better person to send. How did they get this job?
All right. Guys. Like, no, we're coming close to that. I gotta, I'll cut, yeah. That being said, yeah, that's a concern. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning into the Slab Lounge, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You all take care.